06, State of Texas versus Eric Jason Verloy, who is present with his attorney, Mr. Dusler, and the state's attorney. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of this indictment and the arraignment here? And we proceed in summary.
Yes.
In summary, this indictment alleges, looks like there's 3 paragraphs here. An allegation of a crime of burglary of a building, and then 2 prior convictions of burglary and a second conviction of assault on a public servant committed in Jefferson County. The burglary, you were convicted in 2008 in the court next door, the 252nd District Court. After that was final, it is alleged you committed the felony of assault on a public servant. You were convicted of that in the 102nd District Court of Bowie County. It's a ways off. In 2023. So paragraphs 1, 2, and 3 constitute a state jail felony, but it is punished as though it were a second-degree felony because of the prior felony. So you understand how that works. All right, so in summary, again, the state's on or about May 5th, 2026 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the crime of with intent to commit theft. You intentionally and knowingly concealed yourself in a building and committed burglary of a building of the Civic Center here in Beaumont. Paragraph 2 goes on to allege that on February 6, 2008, in the 252nd Judicial District of Jefferson County, Texas, next door here, you were convicted of burglary of a habitation. After that burglary of a habitation conviction was final, it is alleged that on or about May 5th, 2023, which would have been 15 years later, you committed the felony of assault on a public servant, a 3rd-degree felony, and that was a conviction in the 102nd District Court of Bowie County, Texas. So again, paragraphs 1 and 2 and 3 constitute a state jail felony, though punished as though it were a second-degree felony. Do you understand how that all works?
This one. Got to 40. That's fine. Higher. I think that's fair. You have confetti.
All right, this means that you are facing a term of not more than 20 years or less than 2 years in prison. In addition, a fine may be assessed not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand the punishment range you would face?
Good sir. Right.
An agreement has been reached where you would be pleading guilty, sentenced to 5 years in prison. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
If I follow this, you have no right of appeal of your case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to this indictment in paragraph 1, charging you with the state jail felony of burglary, guilty or not guilty?
I'm guilty.
Are you pleading guilty voluntarily and because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
And these 2 prior convictions, burglary of a habitation and assault on a public servant, as we discussed in paragraphs 2 and 3, are those allegations true and correct as they are alleged?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading true and correct to those allegations voluntarily and because they are true?
Yes, sir.
I show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 1. Did you sign that? Understand it? Discuss it with your attorney? Are the contents all true and correct? State's Exhibit 1 tendered into evidence.
No objection.
Without objection, it's admitted. Among other things, this stage you are mentally competent to enter your guilty plea. It's freely and voluntarily made. You know what you've been charged with. The indictment's been read to you. You've read it. You were guilty of the crime charged in any lesser included offenses, and you were giving up your rights to a jury trial, the rights to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses, totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer. All true, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
States Exhibit 1 is part of the record for all purposes. Is a pre-sentence report waived?
Yes.
I'm going to follow this agreement. If nothing further to add, I'm going to find that you are pleading guilty and true to paragraphs 1, 2, and 3 respectively, which constitutes a state jail felony, burglary of a building, though punished as though it were a second-degree felony by the consecutive sentences and convictions in time, paragraphs 2 and 3. You are mentally competent to enter these pleas. There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from States Exhibit 1 admitted here to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this state jail felony, punished though as though it were a second-degree felony because of the prior felony convictions. I am following this agreement. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 5 years. And of course, you will be given credit for all time you have served in accordance with this case. You understand what has happened today, sir?
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Okay, that is fine. Thank you.